Morning to you. It is Friday the 13th. Ooh, spooky. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together every day at 8 o'clock, chat about what's going on in the world of weather, and of course, hopefully get your day started off on a bright note. We are tracking a couple of things in the weather world want to make sure you know about. First off, we have been in a wonderful stretch of weather, but that will be coming to an end. Summer's coming, both in rain chances and in flat out heat. We've got the numbers for you. And then the models continue to show it. Is there trouble in the tropics? We'll look ahead at all of the computer models and address that topic. You may already be seeing some of the hype mongers on the social media channels posting that a Category 9 hurricane is going to be hitting. A, there's no such thing as a Category 9, and B, nobody knows what's hitting. Models are just that. Models. So we'll look at all that coming up in just a couple of moments' time. But first, let's get you outside and see what's doing this morning on a lovely Friday. It's a countdown to the weekend. There's a look at our tower cam network, a couple of clouds over top of us. It is absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful this morning. We have been watching a few showers on our live first warning Doppler radar. Let me take you over to the radar. Notice off the shoreline, that's where we've been watching the rains. The good news is that has not been bothering us yet. But I do think through the day today, some of that rainfall will move into town. So where does that take our 12-hour forecast, right? Here's what you need to know. This morning, nice and quiet, partly cloudy skies. Lunchtime closing in on 80 degrees. But notice those temperatures are getting warmer. 83, 1 o'clock, 87 degrees by 3 o'clock. And that's where we get into the 30, 40, even 50% coverage today of showers and thunder showers. I have a feeling we're going to be tracking some rains on our afternoon coffee talk come 3:30 this afternoon. And of course, we'll be utilizing our live first warning Doppler radar. We'll be looking ahead at all the computer model data, making sure you know what to expect on your Friday afternoon and evening. But before we get into any of that, let's just take a look and see what Futurecast is saying in terms of our rain chances today, okay? So let's start this morning. We know that there are those showers off the coastline, kind of picking up on it-ish. Through 11, 12 o'clock, we'll watch the modeling, trying to develop that East Coast and West Coast sea breeze. There's 3:30, 4 o'clock, trying to bring the rains inland. So starts along the coast and then works inland through the day. Not expecting anything to be too strong, certainly not too severe, but it's Florida. You just never know the way that that'll go. And then into dinner time, kind of watching those storms focusing across the interior communities. 6 p.m., for example, Orlando up through Apopka, up through the villages, all the way up to about Citra, Reddick, Gainesville, with a couple of showers kind of working back over toward the East Coast. It's all thanks to that same storm system. And did you see the picture? I don't even know if I definitely didn't get it set up here. I posted a picture here. Let me pull it up for you. Stand by and I'll pull it up. I posted this picture. I found this. The Virginia Beach Parks and Recreation posted this picture to their social. You have to see this. Look at that. They said something to the effect of, well, that's going to take some time to clean up. You see that? That's all beach sand blown in from that big coastal low that's been moving through the eastern seaboard the last couple of days. We have been tracking it. It's the same one that's been bringing us the gusty winds, the rough surf, the rip currents, the whole 9 yards. Where is it located currently? It's just off of Florida's first coast, starting to weaken from a closed low to kind of an open trough. Not tropical in nature, but it has caused all kinds of issues. That's the storm system that impacted the coastal Carolinas. Wasn't that some picture, huh? Wasn't that some picture? Really, really something else. Glad that it wasn't anything tropical, but it is a good reminder that we are just mere weeks and literally not many. We are just mere days, frankly, from the start of hurricane season. 19 days from the start of hurricane season. A reminder, though, that while we are 19 days from hurricane season, every year since 2015, we have seen a named storm prior to hurricane season. So don't be surprised if these next few weeks we get something to track. The models are hinting at it, certainly, and that's definitely a piece of the puzzle we're going to have to watch very, very closely. The good news is that there's nothing too strong out there right now. That coastal low is it. But if you're on social media and if you follow some hype channels, there's a lot of good information on the social platforms. There's a lot of bad information on the social platforms. You run the risk of getting into some bad information. So let's just talk about a couple of different things. All right. First and foremost, let's look at the computer forecast models. This is the raw GFS. During hurricane season, if you're new to Coffee Talk, during hurricane season, we go super in depth when it comes to the tropics. We share all the information that we look at in the Weather Center just about, and try to answer your questions as best we can. So I want to make sure to do that while we're not into hurricane season. There's already some hype out there, and I want to make sure that you're aware of it, all right? Janet's asking, any rain in Titusville today? Yeah, I think that there's going to be a decent coverage of showers and thunder showers. Debbie says, good morning. Was watching on another format, but missed all the interaction. Yeah, there's a lot of commenting on Facebook. I'd say 95% of the comments all run on Facebook. So if you're on a different platform, you can still watch it, which is cool. But yeah, you're not going to get that interaction. So yeah, no signs of Alex anytime soon, Juan says. It depends what model you look at, right? All right, so with that said, let's go through time. So here we are. This is now GFS. Let's just go top left. GFS 0.25. So that means this is a quarter degree resolution, initialized 6Z. That is its most recent run of the GFS. Mean sea level pressure, MSLP, mean sea level pressure normalized anomaly. That means that it's taking isobars and it's giving you kind of, think of like a medical test with contrast, with dye. So blues, that's lower pressure. Oranges, higher pressure. High pressure, happy high. Low pressure, lonely low. That's lonely low is kind of the crummy weather. Happy high is kind of a bright sunshine. So through this weekend, we're going to keep, somewhat lowered pressure over Florida, right? And then kind of start to bring Monday into Tuesday, bring a piece of that energy away. I think that that's the floor Easter, okay? Then looking ahead, that's Wednesday, 12Z, okay? 12Z, you can see in the top right corner of your screen, Wednesday, 12Z, May 18th. That's 8 a.m. Wednesday. Start watching the Caribbean Sea here. You see that? Down around Central America, you get what's called a CAG low, or a Central American gyre. That's Thursday. Let's go into Friday. Kind of works over toward the Yucatan Peninsula. There we go. Look at that. Another low forms. That's Sunday. That's not this weekend. That's next weekend. Passing in between the Yucatan Passage and then getting into the Gulf of Mexico, trying to deepen, right? And that's a potent little storm system there. That's Wednesday, May 25th, heading toward Lake Mexico. Now, I will tell you that the GFS has been somewhat consistent. That's a look at the 6Z run. If we go back one run, that's a look at the 0Z run. If we go back 2 runs, that's a look at the 18Z run. If we go back 3 runs, that's a look at the 12Z run. If we go back 4 runs, that's a look at the 6Z from yesterday. So each model run has been consistent on the GFS at trying to develop somewhat of an area of low pressure. That being its kind of current in a connotation, if you will, its current version. Okay, that's the GFS. If we were to step out and look at the European, okay, this is the most recent kind of long-range run of the European, and then we can switch to the ensemble to go further. But notice Wednesday, May 18th, 19th, There's Saturday, there's Sunday. It's showing lowering pressures in the Gulf, but nothing organized or closed, right? That's it there. That's Monday. A sea of orange, meaning a lot of high pressure and not a lot of low pressure. So you've got the GFS, which is going ballistic, saying, pick me, there's a hurricane. And then you've got the European that's like, I don't see it. Which one's right? We don't know. I mean, that's the flat out honest truth, right? Could there be something that tries to develop? Absolutely. We know that over the last few years, there's been a named storm every single year since 2015, going back before hurricane season, okay? So it's not out of the realm of expectation, frankly, at this point. But the GFS is going ballistic on it. The European is not. Now, I am curious, while we're talking about the models, let's look at the ensembles. A quick lesson again, and I'm going to explain it every single day because I want to make sure everybody knows, okay? What are ensembles? Think of ensembles as Baskin Robbins, okay? Think of a computer model as ice cream, and you've got different brands, okay? So you've got your Ben & Jerry's, and you've got Baskin Robbins. That's like the GFS and the European, okay? If I tell you, let's look at Ben & Jerry's, you kind of know what you're going to get. If I say, let's go and I'm going to serve you some Baskin Robbins, you know what you're going to get. The ensemble is now we're diving into the flavors. So there's Ben & Jerry's and there's Baskin Robbins. But then what if I say, let's go to the store? Now you've got 51 flavors of Ben & Jerry's and you've got 51 flavors of Baskin Robbins to look at, okay? That's what an ensemble is. An ensemble is that computer model run 51 different ways. So it gives you the ability, and this is just a look, this is the European ensemble. It gives you the ability to get an idea of what the models are thinking in addition to just its regular thing. So for example, that's Tuesday, May 24th. Notice that the European does have ensemble members trying to bubble up storm systems around Florida. The operational European model did not show that. So it lets me know that while the operational European says there's not going to be anything there, there are a few ensemble members that are like, well, there could be something here, okay? That's good. That, as a meteorologist, says, okay, maybe there's something there, all right? One makes it kind of big and nasty, yeah. All right, so if we just kind of roll through the European ensemble members here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 21st. Yeah, and then they start showing those lows, trying to get going early around the 24th, 25th. If we look at the GFS ensemble, we'll just rewind this. If we look at the GFS ensemble here and roll through time, there's Monday the 16th, Tuesday the 17th, Wednesday the 18th. Couple of little somethings developing in the Caribbean. Lifting up to the north, you can kind of see that there. Yeah. Quite a few ensemble members are hinting at it, okay? Quite a few. You see quite a few of those little red L's there, okay? So both models are hinting at it. The GFS operational is the only operational model that's showing it. I know that this is a lot of weather nerddom, and I'm going to pause and start taking questions because I do want to make sure we're all on the same page here. If you've got questions, I want to answer them, all of that stuff, okay? I apologize if this is complex. That's just, we do get into the weeds a little bit here on Coffee Talk, but I'm here to talk you through it, okay? All right, European model did poorly last season, Aaron says. Yeah, well, they've both gotten upgraded. But a reminder, and I say this, I feel like nonstop during hurricane season, computer models are guidance, not gospel. Right? That's the important thing to remember. Computer models are guidance, not gospel. Because they give us ideas, but it's up to us to kind of learn from that, right? So, very important point. Janice says, wait and see, which is correct. Exactly right. Exactly right. Good morning to you, Nancy. Thanks for the update. We sure need rain, preferably at night. Yeah, I know. Debbie says, my chat disappeared. Where's everyone? I see you there. Jessica says, excuse me, sir. Baskin Robbins only has 31 flavors. I know, but there are 51 model ensemble members, so I have to do my thing. My brother says, wow, your store has a great selection. Very good, Janice. You'd make an excellent professor of meteorology. Have you thought about it? Retirement job? I've not thought much about it. I do love teaching, though. I feel like my retirement job is going to be out at Disney, just trying to make everybody smile. That's what I would like. Gene says, now you're talking my language. Anyone here ever have grape nut ice cream? Grape nut? I've never heard of that. Huh. Eliza, do you think maybe it's a little of both? Maybe a storm, but not so strong? I don't know. Looking at the ensembles, they're both sniffing something out, right? That's why the ensembles exist, so that you don't just look at the operational model and say, oh, there's nothing, right? That's why the ensembles exist, so that you can kind of peek back the curtain and say, oh, the Europeans kind of trying to figure something out. It as a whole doesn't think much of it, but there's some flavors of the European that are like, oh, we got it. That's why the ensembles exist. Jessica says, bring on the nerddom. Giddy up. Bobby, are we going to have our first name storm? Well, at some point. May not be this one, but could be. Mickey's asking, could this be the Florester part of the pattern just a little later than expected? It could, yeah. The cycle I've noted has gone up to 5 days late. This would be a little bit later than 5 days, but, it's possible. I'll have to compare the upper level patterns to see if this is the Florester part of the pattern or not. And that's why I do show you the calendars, right, to give you kind of an idea of where it should be. But you have to remember that these things can ebb and flow, and that's why my official graphics for the hurricane season, like for the Florester, for example, you look and it's not showing specific dates, but instead it's showing potential return dates in kind of zones. And that's why, because when it comes to issuing tropical cyclone forecasts, I do want to make sure to outline zones of dates. I try to put it on the calendar, but you have to understand this, what you're looking at right there, that is the kind of official tropical forecast that I issue, okay? The calendars are kind of there for us. This is the official stuff here, though, okay? So keep that in mind. Owen says, I don't love the timing. I have movers scheduled to come on the 26th. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, look, there is absolutely no certification that any of that is going to happen, right? And by the way, this is a part of our 2022 hurricane season forecast. You can always check it out. We issue it March 1st every year. It's available free of charge. And it is at wesh.com/hurricane forecast. You can get that, look at almost the entire hurricane season as a whole. So kind of neat stuff. Susan says computers will never replace the human brain. You can observe, reason, analyze, and the list goes on. Right. Experience goes a long way. And I know computers have, artificial intelligence and all this, but there's a lot that plays into experience that you can't just discount. And by the way, being that today is Friday the 13th, I'm not saying that to be spooky, but rather just that, believe it or not, while hurricane season doesn't technically start until June 1st, I do want to point out, hold on, I'm trying to find a specific graphic. This is the one. That the National Hurricane Center is going to start issuing their tropical weather outlooks Sunday. Whoa. So while hurricane season isn't a thing, the Hurricane Center starts issuing their tropical weather outlooks on Sunday, the 15th. It's kind of a soft opening, if you will, for hurricane season, if I'm honest. They started doing it last year. May 15th, they start issuing their tropical weather outlooks at 8 and 11 a.m. and p.m. So, yeah. Jackie, I would love an Eric weather class. This is a weather class. We can talk about it. We can talk about anything at any time. Yeah. Shannon says, to everyone new to Florida, don't panic. Just watch, wait, and be sure you're prepared in case one does come. Always have an emergency plan. I would further that by saying that we are hard at work on our hurricane special, which airs, I think, about June 1st. We're working on stories for experienced battle-hardened Floridians and for new residents. One of the stories that I'm working on, for example, so my two stories, Long Range Hurricane Season Forecast, the LRC. That's one story. The other story came straight out of Coffee Talk. You were asking, not you specifically, Shannon, but you were asking about evacuations. Do I evacuate? When do I evacuate? I'm a new Florida resident. I just moved here during the pandemic, whatever it is. That's my other story is evacuations, evacuation routes. Who evacuates? When do you evacuate? Where do you evacuate, right? So that's my whole story, and I'm sticking to it. I have to write it today because I've got to start shooting it tomorrow, and I'm off of work. Awesome. They say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? I love that you take all of our questions seriously. Eliza, listen, when it comes to safety, I don't take people's questions seriously when they're acting like a putz. But, when it comes to people's safety, concern, we need to all be on the same page. And listen, when it comes to hurricane season, another thing you may or may not know, we do Coffee Talk twice a day, right? When it comes to hurricane season, my updates get more frequent. And when we've got a storm threatening land, I actually do updates like every advisory just about. I try to give you constant flows of information because there's a lot of hype. There are some good weather pages out there, some good non-meteorologist bloggers out there. There's a lot of bad ones, You have to know what you're looking at. For example, we've discussed the GFS. We've discussed all the computer models. Okay, do you know how you could tell a good one versus a bad one? Perspective. A good one will give you the information and kind of explain stuff. A bad one will say, there's a hurricane coming, watch out. That doesn't help anybody. That helps your clicks and your shares. Remember, false information gets halfway around the world before the truth has time to get dressed for the day. I can't believe that in my career I've seen that happen in weather, but here we are. Social media has been a thing. Janice, I want an A in Coffee Talk 101 class. You got it. Jessica, you're never really off of work. Well, the weather never really stops. Yeah. Carolyn says salaried people are never off work. Exactly. Oh, well, it is what it is. Stella, I have to write and shoot my story today. There you go. Thank you, Christine. I appreciate it. Stephanie's asking, are we supposed to be able to see the eclipse this weekend locally? You know what's funny is we have never on Coffee Talk talked about that. I know that we've covered it on Wesh 2 News. Hold on a second. I know because we worked on the graphic, and it's here. There it is. Okay. So the answer is yes. The answer is yes. You will be able to see it. It's Sunday night into Monday early, okay? The answer, though, is yes. You will be able to see it. There's a supermoon lunar eclipse. I don't really talk much about the lunar eclipses particularly because I don't feel like it's necessarily deep into my realm. But, Stephanie, if you ask, I will deliver. But it's not one of those things that's like on top of mind for my subject matter. But yes, Sunday late into early Monday, we will be able to see it. Joy, we miss you. Took time off social media. Can you help wake little Miss Molly Parnes? She's hiding under the covers. Molly, wake up, Molly. It's Friday. You're almost ready for the weekend. You're almost ready. Jenny says, oh man, I'll be passed out by then. I'll have to miss that one. You and me both. I'm not going to be awake for that one. I'm not going to be awake. You're asleep when lunar eclipses happen. Yeah, I go to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock. And I don't wake up until it depends if I'm working or not. If it's a work day, I wake up awful early. If it's not a work day, 5:15 is my schedule. Yeah. At any rate, we're not only watching the lunar eclipse this weekend, we're also watching the muggy meter starting to climb. We're in the comfy category now, but over the next couple of days, we're not going into like straight up steamy, but we're definitely getting into humid, which is that summer pattern returning. Take a look at the temperatures over these next couple of days, people. Seriously. It's about to get hot. It's about to get hot. Are you ready? Oh, of course. Stand by. All right, you ready for this? Take a look at these temperatures. Today, 87 or so, 91 tomorrow, 93 on Sunday, 94 degrees on Monday. Where does that go? Let's just take a look. Next week, would you believe me if I told you, yet again, 96. And you know what's funny about that? Manolfi and I are out of the building on Wednesday. We're going to the beach to shoot parts of our hurricane special. We are picking the hottest day, 96. Like, we need to bring a fan so that when Manolfi's up there talking about the hurricane special, doing his thing, we could have the air wafting his hair, the air wafting his hair. Yeah, this is a normal thing, though. This is a normal thing when we enter into that summer pattern. You build the heat, so we always get just bloody hot early. And then once those summer storms kind of help to bring down the temperatures, they act as our normal equalizer. So early summer helps to balance, and then we get into that normal like 93, 94, 95 every day with those everyday storms. Eric spoke to me personally over hurricane preparing concerns. Definitely a notch kind of guy who cares about his viewers. Thank you. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it. It's true. Not the being a top-notch kind of guy. I appreciate that, though. But I do feel this immense responsibility, especially to people that are new, because hurricanes are scary if you don't know about them. You know, I will tell you, though, frankly, this heat over the next couple of days, near record heat for sure, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and next week, that can be scary, too. Always have that air conditioner checked. I've got my appointment. I wasn't able to get an appointment for my AC unit to be checked until mid-June. They're working like a month out in reservations. So if that's something on your to-do list, get it scheduled, get it in the books. Get it in the books. Betty, approximately, can you see when our rainy season will begin? So remember, every year's different, but on average, it's late May. Okay, on average, it's late May. So that puts us about 14 days away, give or take, from the start of our rainy season. That's when cold fronts stop. That's when those daily storms start, and dew point temperatures are in the 60s to lower 70s. Those are the three ingredients we watch for. And once those three ingredients hit, then we can declare that we're in the rainy season. We're not there yet. Case in point, dew point temperatures right now are just too low. But let's look at the 7-day forecast and just see, does this look like we are headed in that direction? Remember, cold fronts stop. Don't really have cold fronts on the map. Daily storms start. And dew point temperatures in the upper 60s, lower 70s. So cold front stop, seemingly. Morning lows / dew point temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Looks like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, that's when we get into the 70s. But daily sea breeze storms. Notice we get a little drier Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I don't think we're there yet. Now, Thursday into Friday into Saturday, could that be the start of the rainy season? It certainly is a possibility. We'll have to see, we'll have to see. It's definitely a possibility that late next week we're getting into that pattern for sure. Either way, that looks disgusting. 93, 94, 95, 96. What does the National Blend of Models say? Let's just eyeball that. Stand by. National Blend of Models. Yeah. There's your National Blend of Models for next week. 92, 94, 95, 96, 96. At least it's not showing the 97s anymore, right? I guess. Ugh. Stay hydrated if being outside. That's it. Next week's going to be a big issue for those working outside that are not used to these heat index values. Sending all the love, Janice. Good stuff. Hopefully that works out wonderfully for you. Susan says, grew up in Indian River, now Brevard. 50, 60, 70 years ago, no one evacuated. Still never evacuated. Usually live in concrete homes, ground level, but definitely respected the dangers and did hurricane prep of water, candle, flashlight, car gas, radio. 1 bar of chocolate per day, no electricity. Yeah. Well, but things are different now. There's a lot more people that live there, Susan. Beach erosion is a huge concern. Where are you, in terms of sea level? Do you know that, right? Like these are things, the natural barriers, the sea dunes, the seagrass, all of these things over the last 50, 60, 70 years have been beat up. That natural barrier isn't quite there like it used to be. So keep that in mind. Tammy's asking, but what is the humidity those days? Cringeworthy? Is that okay to say? Yeah, we're cringeworthy. That's flat out, that's the truth. Here's your muggy meter over the next couple of days. Yeah, dew point temps are getting into the 70s. Low 70s Sunday, Monday, and then it keeps going up from there. So the humidity is there. All right. All right. What's to come? Later today, new model data, of course, comes in, and we're going to be reviewing it at 3:30 on our afternoon coffee talk. The big thing I'm going to be interested in is the computer models. Have they started zeroing in on possible tropical trouble looking ahead to the last week in May? Right? Where would it go? What does the new flavors of GFS and what do the new flavors of the European show, both in operational and in the ensemble models? Then, how hot does next week get? We're looking at new model data on that. Plus, of course, your weekend forecast. It is Friday after all. We want to talk about that and have you covered. So, updates today at 3:30. And of course, a reminder, you can get WESH 2 News. They're on the air right now through 10 o'clock. Meteorologist Kellyanne Klass has you covered. Cam Tran has you covered ahead today at noon. And of course, 3:30 is our afternoon coffee talk. All right? Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out. See you later on today at 3:30. Bye, y'all.